Hello everyone, welcome to our podcast where transformation truly begins. Step into the extraordinary world of Tong Ren, a revolutionary distance healing technique that's breaking barriers and uniting an international community of hope and healing. Whether you're seeking profound relief, a spark of renewal, or a deeper, more meaningful connection to your healing journey, you're in the perfect place to begin. Here we'll share life-changing testimonials, actionable insights, and inspiring stories to empower and uplift your Tong Ren practice and experience. This is your space to grow, to heal, and to discover the limitless potential within you. Take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's embark on this incredible journey of transformation together. And today we're going to be talking about cancer, a very serious topic. All of us have known somebody that has experienced and gone through the challenges of cancer. Many of us listening right now have experienced it themselves. The goal of this podcast and other podcasts is to give you information and personal testimonials about options for treating different cancers, and particularly today we're going to be talking about prostate cancer. So let's meet the patient in their own words from a testimonial that they gave to us ourselves. In 2019, he was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer and used conventional treatments, unconventional treatments, naturopathic treatments, and nutritional approaches to manage the cancer. As he says, he was happy to discover myself and consider me a member of his medical team and incorporated my recommendations into his own treatment protocols. So in 2019, he was diagnosed. This is the year 2025, and still stable and doing well, and we communicate on a regular basis. So let's go one by one on some of the things that he did in relationship to my work with him specifically. Number one is Tong Ren Therapy, our target of our podcast. Using this distance healing technique, people can open a blockage to release the abundance of the body, to unleash the wisdom of the healing mechanisms we all have innately ourselves. So, as he says, my wife Lori and I first got to know me, Joe, through Tong Ren Station in 2021. Tong Ren is a theory, as we say, developed by Tom Tam. It's a practice utilizing acupuncture, massage therapy, and Tong Ren, which is a distance healing therapy. It is a cross between Chinese medicine and Western anatomy and physiology, and focused in many ways on the energy supply of the collective unconscious, or as other people may know as the morphogenic field. As he says, Laurie and himself subscribe to the theoretical possibility and the real possibility of combining all three modalities to result in energy healing of the body. As he states as well, I give training because I want all of my patients to be educated on the science and the practical application of these simple techniques of spreading qi to those who are watching and experiencing a session. Next topic he was mentioning is, in his own testimonial, nutrition, because at the core, on a daily basis, we must transform our lifestyle into a healing opportunity. We must create a situation where our own bodies are hostile to pathogens and oxygen deficiency, and since cancer is a condition of hypoxia and oxygen deficiency, we want to flood the body with oxygen. And there are many ways to do that, as we did together on our journey. As he said in his testimonial himself, from Hippocrates, let food be thy medicine, and let medicine be thy food. Another technique we used with him specifically is the beautiful science of quantum biology. One of the main recommendations is a biomat, which is heat and light therapy combined through a quartz layer mat that you lay on and receive infrared light and hypothermia techniques. So these are really critically important. The specific one that he got also integrated PEMF techniques. So these are where you create harmonious frequencies in the body in harmony with, from a quantum biology and a spiritual perspective, to be in harmony with nature and the environment around us. The body is integrated into this world, and then when you create harmonious frequencies, avoid resistance, avoid bioelectrical blockages, which is our main target in Tong Ren Therapy, the body can unleash the wisdom power to heal and reverse different disease. Additionally, specifically, he and I worked through a very important component of healing cancer, which is cleansing. So the main cause of disease is deficiency and toxicity, and the result of those are inflammation. Since all disease, 70 to 80% of all disease, is caused by inflammation, which eventually creates a breakdown in the body and an immune response, as well as a deficiency of oxygen and digestion, absorption, and elimination, cleansing is critical. So as he said in his words, through Anusar Wellness, we provided guided colon cleanses that he and his partner Laurie participated in which they experienced great benefit. So you want to create a baseline of optimal health. You want to remove interference in our bodies that causes a negative impact to slow down our healing and to create an environment of inflammation. One by one, cleansing removes layers of resistance in our bodies. So as we said, from his own testimonial, he's had positive results. He was diagnosed in 2019 with stage 4 prostate cancer. That means it is in the metastatic phase of cancer, where it spreads to other parts of the body. He used conventional treatments and other types of therapies, including all of ours. And to this day, he is stable, fine, and we continue, as I say, to communicate. New things that I learn about, I share immediately. My goal is long-term success and creating lifestyle medicine that people can integrate into their lives on a daily basis. So let's summarize some of the things that I recommend to this specific person and to all cancer patients. And here are 6 primary remedies that I recommend consistently because they go to the core cause of cancer, which is an oxygen deficiency and an inflammation issue, as well as toxicity. So number 1, this is a new recommendation, methylene blue, which is hyper-oxygenating of the body. Another technique he also used for this was ozonated magnesium oxide, which you take at night, and guess what? You flood the body with oxygen, you reduce inflammation and acidity, and you create an environment hostile to cancer. The next one is black salve. This is a First Nations or Native American remedy. So what this is, an actual long time used, hundreds and thousands of years of the great herbal masters of Native American herbology. So what black salve does, it goes to the consistent core cause of cancer in the body, which is toxicity. So why is that important? Toxicity disrupts cellular plumbing. If you think of it this way, toxins in displaces and takes up space so that we cannot get in nutrients and oxygen to perform the most primary function of our body, which is cellular metabolism. And what is that? This is really important for everyone to understand. Otto Warburg, about 100 years ago, he identified the cause of cancer. He identified the fact that cancer is caused by an oxygen deficiency. The chain of events would be that deficiency, and we've now learned that it is about 40% of oxygen in a specific area creates cancer. It creates a genetic expression of cancer genes called oncogenes. Therefore, this threshold going lower than 40% creates a trigger for cancer genes to create cancer cells. Now, the important thing to understand with all cancers, everybody listening there right at this moment, is cancer is not a specific disease. It is a condition, a result of a stimulus of 40% oxygen, a deficiency in the body. Therefore, since we are vitally, critically needing oxygen to create energy, which is composed of two main parts, oxygen and glucose, to burn together to create energy. If the body senses we are missing basically half of that formula of life to create energy in our bodies to prevent us from dying, the body will create cancer cells to work in a low oxygen environment. This is from Otto Warburg, a Nobel Prize winning scientist who won the Nobel Prize multiple times for this discovery. So if oxygen deficiency is a cause of cancer, what do we want to do? We want to get oxygen back into the body. In 1895, one of the techniques developed by Tesla, the ozone device to flood the body with oxygen, was invented. That was because they understood the simple math of more oxygen, less disease. More oxygen, less inflammation, and less cancer. So these are the things that we want to focus on. This is the basic understanding of how cancer works. Even in blood cancer, because science has shown that a 40% deficiency of oxygen in the bone marrow also can negatively impact the bone marrow, and the bone marrow produces blood cells. And if we're not producing blood cells, therefore, we are also having an issue to create leukemia and other types of blood conditions and blood cancers. But let's get back to our main set of my recommendations, among many, as long as they go to the core idea for cancer of increasing oxygen, as we do in our colon cleanse. For 7 days, we flood the body with oxygen. So number one is methylene blue, but the technique is to use methylene blue along with red light therapy. That enhances the efficiency of that. Methylene blue itself was also begun in the 18 and 1900s. It's used in Europe. I've met people that use it in Europe as a regular staple. So methylene blue and infrared light. Number two, black salve, which is detoxifying, which goes to our core fundamental focus. Ivermectin and fenbendazole, which go to basically disabling components of cancer cells, which will help to accelerate apoptosis and to accelerate the functionality disruption of cancer cells. So this is in a specific way, ivermectin and fenbendazole. These are specific techniques used to disrupt cancer cells. Because if you're doing the right thing and you have a lifestyle in place, you want to accelerate the removal of cancer, as well as creating an environment hostile to cancer. The next one is a brilliant, also First Nations Native American herbal remedy, black salve. I use a supplier, 2 feathers, someone with 45 years of experience. This is a detox, removes toxins, allows oxygen back in, supports the liver function, also disables components of cancer, increases apoptosis. Let me remind people what apoptosis is. It is natural cell death. Cancer, since it's working overtime in a hostile environment, it has disabled its own mechanism for self-death or senescence or cancer cell or cell death. It is persistent on purpose to get us through a survival challenge. So these types of things we've talked about also reestablish the apoptosis part. Again, to get back to the core fundamental thing, we want to create an alkaline environment. The last 2 recommendations that I want to talk about are ways to do that. Alkalizing with a medical grade alkalizing baking soda, 3-part baking soda, so you can take it long term, pH adjust. And number 2, mega-hydrate, which accelerates oxygen into the cells. So these are all consistent through that fundamental target of more oxygen, less inflammation, less disease, less cancer. So cleansing, detox, healthy diet, all these things go to the core of what we talk about, the cause of disease and the cause of cancer, deficiency, toxicity, chronic inflammation, the breakdown of the body, which can even create autoimmune conditions, and then the body is struggling. Long-term inflammation is an immune response where the body is constantly 24/7 fighting off an infection or a hostile environment. The body cannot handle it. It's like running your car at 100 miles an hour for 6 months. It will eventually degrade. So thank you for joining, and it's really important to understand these fundamentals. And with these actual case studies of actual people for years with success of reversing cancer, creating the environment hostile to cancer. Thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to hearing you in our next episode. Thanks for tuning in. What inspired you most today? Did something spark your curiosity or make you see things in a new light? Did you get a new perspective? This is your chance to take the first step or go even deeper into your own Tong Ren practice and your journey to a better health and services for others. We'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts, your aha moments, or even your own healing stories. Do you have any questions? Well, then reach out to our amazing community where you'll find support, answers, and connection. Don't forget, we got a bunch of great resources to help you grow. We have online courses, webinars, interviews, live workshops, and so much more. Together, we're building a movement of healing and transformation, and we're thrilled to have you as a part of it. Stay tuned for our next episode of Tap Into Tong Ren, where we'll bring you even more stories, insights, and tools to empower and uplift your own health journey. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and most of all, keep growing and sharing. Let's make incredible things happen together. See you next time.